Okay, so I'm an older lady that lives in Henry Street, Leichhardt, in the inner west section, Sydney. In the city of Sydney, in the country of Australia, and we have street noise level, sound level. It's a very technical city that I live in now, and I'm trying to be very calm and impartial and nice about, a very human mind control city, I'd say. Plain. I'm not going to show the patrollers on the street. I'm just going to keep the phone right outside the front door here, just right at the door. So this is inside the house, but at the door. This is local street house sound because it comes right through the house, much louder for my ears than what the mobile picks up, unfortunately. That's why I'm complaining about it, because it's it's a very unnecessary, I think, sound. And they should be masking it, and I'm sure they can, but they don't bother. We have the patrollers in front, as you can see. They're always watching, lurking around, even if it's only one or two of them. At street level, when you go down the road, much more. Patrol car, patroller in front, patrol workforce. See how they just lurk around? They loiter. They only make this sound when I come here too, because I found this out yesterday, which I realised anyway, of course, but I actually asked someone if it was quiet outside my house, and they said, yeah, there's no workmen, the gate's all closed, everything's closed up. A minute later, when I come from a block away and come into the house, they were all back and the sound started up. Coincidence or local Sydney matrix, or in other words, where all the workforce, the inner west workforce, which means just any industry, any council, it's all council, all country, all, it's all the powers that be that control everything, because we now have a very controlled, very technical world, even though it pretends to be a natural world. It's not natural, it's not accidental, everything is basically under control of the higher powers that be of any country. And the country, of course, is also combined worldwide, which we half realise. This is just local street sound. I'm just trying to show how noisy. And this is every day. This goes on for years too, so it's one construction after another. So if it was just occasionally, say for a week out of, or 2 weeks out of it, say 6 months, you'd say that might be normal or reasonable, or even just accidental, where there is necessary work needing to be done. But when it's continual, not just outside your house with the sound coming into the house, but all over the suburb where you go, it's like a council workforce military operation in play everywhere I go, where I have these soldiers that are posing as workmen all around me, and civilians patrolling on foot, and every vehicle, almost every vehicle, which shouldn't even be on the road because they should be all on the underground Sydney City tunnel system. And the actual number of vehicles on the road is 50 to 100 times more than what there actually would normally be. And that I can prove, and even most people wouldn't deny that if I pointed out, look at the amount of lorries, noisy motorbikes, or extra loud buses, and road rage civilian car vehicles that are surrounding me, just say on a given street. People will say, yes, that's a lot, but it's only here the tunnel system works. So I say, why is this excessive traffic only around me, or around what I call individual real human beings? That's how I look at it. Yes, a patroller just pulled in right opposite, but when I say patrollers, they always come in when you come out. So I'm going to come outside the house here. I can hardly see because the sun's set, patroller right in front, getting into a car in a house where they don't live, because you see the different people around, so you know the people that supposedly live in the houses. But in reality, you have astronomical amounts of all sorts of people going in and out of every house, because essentially most of the houses are vacant, but some aren't. But most of the houses are either vacant or they are given access by the, you could say, by this program, because everyone is connected to it through the internet, through the technology, through mobile phones. But also there is even more advanced technology, because as you can imagine, if you've got like the aeroplanes involved, you're talking about a vast military army, countrywide operation. And there's a doggy there, but that's also a patrolling neighbour. So I'm just going to come inside, because I actually don't want to be involved in that. So I just don't want to be involved in things, because basically everyone is involved, but everyone wants to keep it a secret, because they don't want to be shown to be part of this patrol control system. So they're basically pretending to be the people around on the street. So they're like patrollers that will actually pretend to be friends, or as they call it, friends that, well, they're not friends, but they will. That's what makes this whole situation cunning and covert, as they say, and hidden, but also very. The reason it works is for these reasons, because everyone is largely part of it using technology, and because of the numbers, and because of them covering for one another, and because of it being like always part of a work program, always part of a civilian population, always part of every organisation, every thing that makes the city work. It's not possible to dismantle it, and you wouldn't want to, because it keeps the city going. But unfortunately, it's also about suppressing and limiting particular real human beings that actually have the potential for more positive frequency and vibration, whereas the others actually don't. So this is the problem with it, and the sad truth of it. And it's very sad if you happen to be that individual human that they are targeting to surround and control. And a lot of it is about deception, even probably amongst those that are targeting and patrolling and controlling the human being, because you see, they're coerced through for different reasons. They might be part of a particular group or a particular organisation or a particular work program, or they may need to even do it, or at least it may seem like a benefit necessary thing. In other words, the end justifies the means for most people. And in other words, they're like, well, if I go down, if they put one human being down so that their group can progress, or that a certain number of, or if they can progress or do better in life, they're not going to hesitate to do that, and they don't. even though in the overall scheme of things, they're putting down people that are positive and bringing up those that are negative. So they will have a very controlled, very negative technical reality where even everyone will be basically just serving the powers that be and Lucifer's matrix. Lucifer is the god that controls the powers that be, or they're his disciples, or its disciples, or her disciples, because this being has many images, many personas, many different names. In other words, it will be whatever it wants to be in order to control the earth, or control what you think is the earth. Because, it is all about controlling information, in controlling, limiting me so that I think that most of what I know, see, Patsy. P-A-T is my name, I'm Pat, and S-Y is something that I'm connected to very strongly, but I'm not going to go into that. But that's showing that I'm a Patsy, and so is someone else too. Patsy. Human beings are Patsies, but see, my name is Pat. I'm Pat Tixie Gilligan. And S-Y is another one that I was connected, or tried to connect to a real human being, and I wasn't able to, only out of desperation, because essentially, when I realised that I was targeted by thousands of people that I didn't know at a community, local, suburb Leichhardt level, because I'm in the suburb of Leichhardt, in the inner west, completely what I call the completely human mind control region of the city of Sydney, that's in the big country of Australia. I know very little about even my own country, much less about the world countries, but I am aware of what takes place around me, and I am now aware that this takes place at a higher level and at a earth level. So, and it's all about controlling everything, and the powers that be, and the God of earth that the powers that be worship and are disciples for, that God being the false being of light. I say false being of light because it's not a beacon of light for a human being if they show you that they're trying to completely control your mind and your movements and your body and everything about you. So therefore it can't be a God that is, looking out for you, can it? So that's what I would have to say. So obviously it's not, it probably isn't my God, or what was what I would say creation. That's really all I can say. I think I'm going to stop this video. I'm not going to bother filming any more sound. That was just because otherwise I'll ramble on, and it's really, I'll just try to show, I'll finish up with, before I take this down, I shall finish up with Demigod, if I can. Oh, Demigod picture. Oh, the light is in their eyes, but they are one-eyed. See how the light is one-eyed? Oh, wait on. One-eyed God, one-eyed demigods, because they see things according to the God of earth, Lucifer. So the demigods, even past, present and future, your demigods, your music, movie idols, your powers that be, your powerful people, past, present and future, I would think. I'm told this, and look, see the one-eyed demigod? The light is covering one eye because they see it from their point of view of their Lucifer, the god of light, or the would-be god of light. But I can't do this. I don't know. Sorry, I can't film that properly. So I shall have to finish up here because, you know, I don't know. Oh, I can't see what I'm filming here. Can't see what I'm filming, can't see what I'm filming, can't see what I'm filming. So I think I'll finish up. I might record some more sound, but I don't think I will, because you see, it's all a diversion. It stops me from focusing on just even going and getting my basic human needs, much less doing anything that gets me away or out of this community city level, in the city of Sydney, level of human limitation and suppression by community groups that make up all or most of the population in the inner west section of the city of Sydney. And of course, this probably extends, as we know, to the whole city. It's just that they concentrate their efforts and their patrol control system around individual, isolated, defenceless human beings. That's really all I can say, because they wait till you become isolated, they wait till they see if you realise certain things, and then they come out of the woodwork and show that all along we live in a total surveillance, total all-seeing, one-eyed, watching eye, which is really just the powers that be using civilian people to patrol and watch other isolated individual human beings that don't quite fit into a total controlled city reality, where you won't be part of using technology to watch and patrol other human beings. Not because you're moral about that, not because you have any views. Myself personally, I just wouldn't want to. I have no interest in watching other human beings that I don't know, much less patrolling, stalking and following them and watching their every move. I mean, how would you even, I don't understand personally, apart from getting personal gains out of it, which is another question, like to survive and to actually get your food, clothing and shelter, certain people and large numbers of people, particularly, they can be coerced through the need for food, clothing and shelter, just as I am, but also if they are part of particular organisations, particular groups, particular belief systems, then that would also be another reason that they'll combine for these things. But actually, I've been told that they are offered all of these things. So in other words, they think they are doing something that serves their belief system, their particular group, their particular club, their particular organisation or their particular line of work, but also they are rewarded with the necessary needs of life, and they are substituted, or what's the word, where you isn't this awful? I'm under mind control because I can't even find the words. In other words, I'm sidetracked. When you say mind control, that means I'm sidetracked because I'm diverted by the beings around me, by the sounds around me, by the continual patrolling around me. Inside this particular place at the moment, I'm diverted by the presence of the workmen outside, making, mechanical sounds outside. And if I go to the door, I see them, lurking and loitering around me on the street. And also the houses, with the civilians in the houses always coming around and always watching. There's too much of that. You realise that you're in a patrol system when it wouldn't be possible even for the small population of this suburb. Daily, I see far, far too many vehicles, unbelievable number of not only vehicles, large vehicles, excessive, the buses going every 5 seconds past you on the street, which wouldn't be possible. You couldn't say it's the best bus service in the whole world. You'd have to say that it's when you have back-to-back buses, that's totally unrealistic. Like 2 or 3 buses, one after the other, like back-to-back on one another's tail. That just shows that they're a patrol system. Either that or there's something incredibly insane going on in the area. But it isn't insane. It looks insane, but it's not insane if you realise that they're really just army patrol vehicles disguised as buses, disguised as super large lorries with excessive bright lights all over them. They make their presence felt by the excessive amount of lights and by the actual luminosity of the lights, which actually get in your eyes and sometimes make it almost difficult to see in front of you, which means that they're actually dangerous, and yet they're regarded as a safety asset to the vehicle. Whereas in reality, they're a danger not only to themselves, but to the pedestrians like myself that are trying to cross the road or just walking around. But the reason that they don't see it as a safety hazard and proclaim it to be a safety asset is because they are all part of a program. So they don't need to see in front of them, because they're just following one another through their technology, through their what they call, I think, GPS systems and things, something like that, which I'm told, where they're basically just monitoring and following and patrolling particular human beings. So they're not really interested in seeing the road or where they're going. They're following a tracking system, and that tracking system is tracking human beings, the few human beings that are in the area. And they're patrolling and watching those exclusively. They're not going anywhere. That's why there's so much excess traffic that shouldn't be around me when I go outside. I know that there's excess traffic because I've lived here for a long time, so I see that it's not natural or normal. Also, as I pointed out, they built a billions and billions of dollar underground city tunnel system to take the traffic off all those so-called roads and streets where I am. But instead of there being less traffic on those roads, since I became part of their program, where they decided to basically patrol me in an aggressive, suppressive manner, basically the numbers of vehicles have not only multiplied by astronomical amounts, but the actual vehicles themselves have changed. And also they have added like motorcycle gangs that pretend to be doing work or deliveries and pretend to be civilians on motorbikes, but they're where you never saw a motorbike. You've got these excessively loud motorbikes. You've got extra all this delivery motorbike kind of setup system. You've got the excessive even just push bike, electric push bikes all over the footpath, which is actually not even supposed to be legal. And yet every day I have them zooming past me on the footpath, just in the space of a block. And then, of course, you have the extra large lorries and semi-trailers going past you, making excessive noise as they go past you. They stop immediately making the noise as soon as they're out of your range. You actually hear the sound stop as soon as they've gone past you. So they're actually letting you know that they're trying to mentally disturb you through the use of road rage sound. Every vehicle does this, or at least every second vehicle. And these vehicles are going past you in thousands and thousands, back to back, backing up in traffic jams where there shouldn't even be traffic jams, so-called peak hour, when it's not peak hour. In other words, it can be any time of the day whenever I go out that you have these traffic jams where vehicles are back-to-back lined up, and they move along with you. They slowly move along, and they show that they're patrolling and stalking you by their actions, where They will leave a space for you to cross the road where you'll have them back to back, but they'll deliberately leave a space as if to say, we know you need to cross here, so we'll let you go. You know, we're intimidating you, we're suppressing you, we're trying to show you who is the boss, really. That's what it really comes down to. But I'm talking loud and confident about it, but actually when you go out into it, that's why I'm actually, like my heart is beating quite loud now, and I'm actually super sweating because thinking about it, knowing that I have to go out into it, knowing that it's all around me. But talking about it, you talk loud and aggressive and forceful, almost with emotion, because it is actually driving you that way. It's driving you to, to not feel calm and relaxed. Whereas you should be able to walk around just local streets, for instance, just to go and get your food and stuff, particularly as everyone else gets the powers that be provide them with cars and with free delivery services of all their supplies, whereas I have to, at my age, go down the road to pick up the supplies, which wastes my time and energy, but I'm not even allowed to do that in peace, because I'm surrounded by this dreadful patrol force that basically slows me up and makes me disorientated before I even get a block or two to even get the supplies. And you want to come back home here to where you've got the noisy work programs going on around you daily. That's not a normal life in what you'd call a normal civilised suburb, because it's not a normal civilised suburb, but it pretends to be that. And it actually looks to be super civilised because it's all about saving the earth, protecting what's natural, protecting the wildlife, creating things that seem to be a benefit to the community and to the people. But it's only a benefit to these patrollers. They're getting provided with everything, while I have those same things around me, but I can't even access them. Or if I can access them, I can't enjoy them, because it's all about keeping the human being's frequency and vibration and energy low. Because it is a bigger thing. It does come down to the god of earth, Lucifer, the god of earth, with its demigods, which are the powers that be, or your world stage players, controlling the frequency and vibration and energy of real human beings so that they keep it at a low, technical, non-happy frequency and vibration level. And that's all designed so that they keep control of the human beings and the earth at a real level. That's putting it technically and scientifically, even though there's a lot more to it than that, and I just discover these things as I go along. As information comes to me, I fit it into what I actually see around me. And so I know then that it's fact. As you see more and more of who's part of all this patrol control system and what their reason for doing it is, you start to discover that it's a big, big thing, and it's a big picture thing. It's not like just local with a few groups patrolling and watching and trying to suppress human beings for personal gain or even for group gain. That may be what it appears to be, but it is actually controlled at a much higher and even at a God level or a world level. But I'm not interested in the world level because I only live in each human being that is isolated, each individual human being that is isolated and surrounded by these beings and by these programs are really the reason for the whole set-up system. In other words, only real human beings that have, some sort of life in them, that are not like psychopathic, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling beings that only operate mainly in the death instinct, or at least at very low frequency and vibration, any human being that tries to operate in the life instinct will be controlled by the powers that be and the groups and systems and things that are around that human being, say in like the city of Sydney. They will be used to patrol and control those individual human beings that want to operate in the life instinct, or that have the potential to affect the frequency and vibration and energy of a given area. Because psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, paranoid types of being are going to be used in the program against the more life instinct human beings. The death instinct human beings, which are like psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic, paranoid, controlling beings, which operate in the death instinct, will be used in community set-up systems against the potential life instinct real human beings, whether they know it or not, because they are not like able to unpossess themselves, shall we say. In other words, they're possessed by the mind control or by the mind computer virus that is Lucifer's mind in them. Just as real human beings probably should have the life instinct of their creator inside of them, but they, like myself, over a lifetime, you're programmed by the matrix or by the anti-life death instinct beings around you, and by the androgyne beings that operate in that death instinct. So you are always surrounded with them, so you get more programmed to operate in the death instinct than in your natural, normal life instinct, which is why I'm messed up and confused and mind controlled and surrounded by these beings now at this later stage in my life. Even though, of course, I've always been surrounded by them. It's just that now they are showing you their systematic need to control your frequency and vibration and energy, or make you unhappy, in other words, because happiness is high frequency, vibration and energy, I guess, and everything is frequency, vibration and energy, we're told by even the demigod scientist and your greatest philosophers and thinking minds in the past. These things just are given information to me over the last few years as this program is operating around me. I get information from the mind-controlled internet spider's web system, because basically the truth also has to be out there and it has to be told, because they have to control even the truth, even amongst those who seek it. So it's a very intricate, a very complicated mind control program that is put on around me and you if you're a human. And it will depend on how you unravel it, or what stage of what they call awakeness or awareness that you're at. You know, not everyone's as old as me, so some people might be less aware, and that maybe in a few years they'll be more awake or aware. And I also may still need to, even to be awake and aware of something, is no good, like myself, if you're still immersed and trapped in it and you're surrounded by it. The powers that be, the demigods of earth, the powers that be, and Lucifer, the god of earth, still has the upper hand in controlling my mind, because they're controlling my environment, my situation, my actual reality around me. So regardless of how smart I think I am and how aware I think I am now, which actually I wouldn't have even cared about that if they weren't suppressing and limiting me. I would just be getting about my business and trying to, make the most of a very limited life. But they won't actually even allow you to do that, because when you try to even make yourself feel okay, even in diabolically bad situations, that still goes against the basic fundamental fact that everything is frequency, vibration and energy, and that human beings also have a frequency, vibration and energy, and that it's only human beings, not androgyne beings, not psychopathic, malignant, narcissistic types of human beings. None of those types of beings operate in life instinct, so therefore they cannot change the frequency and vibration of any reality or any environment. So therefore they can only give out a negative frequency and vibration and energy, or in other words, they don't have a proper frequency, vibration and energy, whereas real human beings do have that possibility, provided they were in or allowed to live a natural, normal existence, which you're not. You're living an artificial, technical existence surrounded not just by androgyne beings that use technology against you and to control you, even just the use of the traffic to control your mood and your emotion is using technology or using a machine to control my frequency and vibration. Because if every vehicle around me is showing me road rage, I'm going to be feeling very bad. And that's the whole name of the game. And that's the end of this thing, because I'm running out of energy even making this particular thing. So I'll just say ta-da.